Hello. What do I click here? Not that one. This one. There we go. Perfect.
Welcome back.
Everyone's feeling poorly today. Well, I'm not.
I'm not. I feel great.
That flu's going round. I think that old Rona. I think that might be going round again. You know.
It's interesting how much of a pussy this squad is when there's a little bit of cold.
Excuse me.
In particular, not so much you, because I don't know anything about what you've said aside from you've got a cold, but like Raz in particular, the guy has like a cough, and he'll describe it as, "I'm absolutely fucked. I've been absolutely fucked for the last 2 weeks," because he'll have like a tickly cough.
Mine's significantly worse than that.
And mine's significantly worse than hers.
Well,
you don't know.
But you guys would say that.
That's true.
Because I mean, I feel great.
I feel physically run down, but I'm not like unwell. I've started having this thing with my arms where they just hurt. They just hurt when I wave
to my arms.
It's because you're raving.
No, I mean, it's not like, I don't know what it is, but I'll just wake up and I'll be like an acute, if that's the word, like a a focused pain in each bicep. And it still hurts now, like, and it hurts throughout the day, but and when I go to like a weird angle, like T-Rex, which I don't do very often.
I don't know.
And
you mean lifting with your back instead of your knees?
I don't really lift anything, Ben, to be honest.
You might want to try some like magnesium or something. You might not be getting the vitamins you need. It's causing you muscle pain.
Well, I bought these fake Baroccas from Home Bargains, and I've had one and it wasn't very nice. So.
Oh, yeah. Weird though.
Ben, where do you join us from today to talk about Leeds Festival?
Hola, buenos dias. I join us all from Española.
It's like being at Ben and Coliseum together.
That's pretty good, you know. Like full credit to you, man.
Yeah, big up.
But, I just flew over to Spain for a little bit, and I thought, well, what do I want to do on holiday? I want to talk about the Leeds Fest.
That's great. And what's Chris doing?
What's Chris
doing, man?
That's a good point.
Ben's over there in Spain, and Chris is just sat at home on his ass, probably eating laggers.
Do you know what's nice though is that I've seen at least 2 comments now that I've said I did not realise that Ben and Chris were 2 different people, and I'm just glad the message is getting out. I'm glad the message is getting out, everyone.
You don't look similar at all, and you don't sound
Well, I've got quite a normal neck. I thought, but maybe not.
What's great right now is for people watching, you'll realise that we're all kind of like leaning over, looking at something. And that's because yesterday, Rob decided to break the monitor of our system that we use to record the podcast. So we're currently using the 52-inch... Is it
55?
Sorry.
Don't make 52.
Get it right.
55-inch TV that's usually behind Mary, but it's not there no more because it's on the table and it's big.
This is much better setup than that.
It's a terrible setup. It's a terrible setup because we're all staring at a screen instead of looking at each other.
I remember back in the day we were talking about when we were like thinking about doing a podcast thing. We said we wanted a TV to look at stuff and we could like
the TV would be good as a
TV,
as like a reference if we were doing a proper podcast and we were talking about like, have you seen this viral clip? Then you'd have it. You'd have someone running it who puts it on the TV.
Logan Paul, this one.
Yeah.
Is that your idea of a proper podcast? Let's look at this viral clip.
Well, my idea of a proper podcast is just anything Dan's not at the helm of, to be honest.
Where is Dan?
To be fair, Dan didn't need to be on this one.
No, I'm not saying
Dan's just probably in his room chilling.
Yeah.
He'll just finish work maybe.
Watching a film.
Unwinding.
Do you know what? I watched a film last night for the first time in fucking ages.
What film?
Kevin and Perry Go Large. And I won't tell you why I watched that, but I watched it and...
Were you alone?
Yeah, I was alone.
Oh, right.
Of course he's alone. Look at that V-neck thing.
Show everyone your V-neck.
So it's today is a really hot day and I was like, I want to wear something that's like nice and breathable.
2 layers though, both black.
No, it is.
Don't chat shit about the
Look, I know what you're already going to say, but... This is already a vest as well.
Fucking hell.
So if it's a vest, it's a bit less cringe.
Yeah.
Because a vest is less cringe than if that was like a...
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. It's still obscene.
Look, Emma.
His
doesn't
mum
have
said
to-
it looks pretty cool.
My mum's on holiday.
Right.
Shut up.
Where's your mum? Why is she not dialed in?
I don't know.
She came to Leeds Fest.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, and she had a great time.
Should we talk about Leeds Fest then?
Yeah, go
Yeah.
on.
Do you want to?
Ben, what can you see on the screen? Just me.
Just you. I'm really upset because everyone's rinsing vials, and I just have to. I'm just going off, like stock footage that
Yeah.
I've seen in the past.
Have
Just
a look
imagining.
Ben, have a look
What you
on
could
his Instagram.
Yeah,
'Cause he
on his,
posted
it's
it
on
on
his,
Instagram,
it's on
right.
his story. It's doing a weird face.
Yeah.
I'll have a check
It was
later.
a weird face to be fair.
I was gonna. I was in the middle of typing something. I thought I'm not gonna.
Don't kick a man.
It's
while
nice that
dancing
everyone
to
saved
him.
it until we're recording the podcast to rinse him, so it's
You're-
immortalised, isn't it?
Your experience here, Ben, is just like a listener on Spotify or Apple Podcasts because you can't really see what's
You can
going.
see me though.
No, but you
I
know,
can see Rob, which is all I care about, really.
There we go.
you know.
great.
So we're here to talk about our unique Leeds Fest experience.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get water, and you start telling them about it. Does anyone else want a water?
No, I've got
Not
one,
you, Ben.
thanks.
Have you
Unfortunately.
got anything?
No, just on the beers, me, mate.
Oh, lucky for some.
Have you got like another drink?
No. Sorry, mate.
So, Leeds Festival 2023. Thinking about it, previous years, recent years, we've been stuck in guest camp and we've all said the same thing. It's
Boring.
Boring as fuck. No thanks. It's boring as fuck. So, we really wanted to change it up, didn't we, guys? And the
Certainly
best
did.
way we could change it up was by doing what we were told we weren't allowed to do.
Well, I mean,
Sorry, we should
we
have
were,
drinks beforehand. I didn't know I was running this, so I literally came out of my room and expected to sit down and have everything ready because it's even as the person who's not on the podcast, you should still really be facilitating it. Is that nice?
God, this is the best drink ever in it.
What, the
This
waifu?
isn't even sponsored.
Not a drink, this is food.
It's the cold brew coffee. It's my favourite one, and it's got a chocolate.
Well,
kind
they
of
can
taste.
send me another contract. Yeah. So where did you get up to in the Leeds Fest story? Sorry.
That we were bored of guest camping and we wanted to change it up and we wanted to do what we were told we weren't allowed to do, and that's camp in general.
We did. There's been a lot
Yeah.
of speculation as to why we did that.
Yeah.
Some people think we've fallen out.
Yeah.
Mad. Some people think it's the
I
end
saw-
of an era. Sorry, Ben, go on.
I saw a comment today, actually, this morning on the vid, and it was, why is Rob referring to Raz and Choc as old friends?
Oh, I saw that.
And what does this mean?
People just want to read into it.
Someone said, "Is it about money?" And there's like a rival channel, and someone like, as if we would ever do that. Like Raz is just like,
Dan's made DTP.
I'm gonna now start doing my own vlog, and I need half at squad. No, we did it because it was something we've never done before, and it was fucking great.
And guess what?
It was excellent.
as well.
Yeah, and it's one of them things that not everyone else would have been down for doing it.
Absolutely
Plus,
not.
With a big of a squad as it is at Leeds Fest, it wouldn't have worked in the same way.
Like,
if everyone was in
A lot of people
normal.
have said, "Oh, guys, like, not a good idea to split the camp. Like, we want to see you engaging and interacting with each other." But it wouldn't have been as engaging or as interacting as even just our camp was, because
Yeah.
obviously everyone that's in their camp is a friend of ours. But like, not all of those people are close enough with us that where we can really sit and be ourselves in the way we need to be for a video
Yeah.
for 5 solid days. And half of that camp hadn't even met each other before that first day, which is fine.
Yeah.
But like, when we want to create a certain type of piece of content, we can't be having like icebreakers and beer pong.
Literally, like we were joking
Yeah.
before, and it's like in their camp they're gonna need like those "Hello, my name is so and so"
Yeah,
tags.
And that's fine. Like, but like, I just didn't want to do that. I wanted to be excited about Leeds Fest. I didn't want to feel like, and being there with a 20-person team. Even Raz was frustrated in the video because we
Yeah, I
edited the
saw
video
that.
today. Vals has watched it, and even Raz was frustrated with how long it took to get people from A to B, and that's Raz. So imagine how I would have.
The slowest man in the world.
So we stayed in Purple. We were originally going to stay in Orange by the trees, but we didn't know like what it were going to be like.
No,
And thankfully, I mean, let me rephrase. I knew exactly what it was going to be like, and I did say it'd be exactly like it was, and I'm glad that kind of proved itself to be right, because we can now, going forward, not worry about things like getting mobbed. And but we were going to camp in orange, and then we decided to compromise and stay in purple, because people were like, oh well, I don't want to. I mean, you and Chris in particular were like particularly worried.
Scared.
Just cautious.
They were scared.
Just very cautious, because last time we were in that camp, it all went tits up. And we didn't know, we didn't really know what to expect at the end of the day.
Yeah, we didn't. I mean, but I did. And the thing is, you've got to just trust people. So what Jake's referring to is in 2019, when it went like tits up, the camp got full of people and shut down by security. We all remember that.
Yeah.
That's great.
But that's only because we invited them in.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And we built a fence which designates a specific area, like this is the party. We advertised it like a week beforehand in the shopping video, and there was a bit of like I was hopeful, like that's not going to happen. I was sure it wasn't, but I guess there was always the chance of that still happening to a degree. But then you realize like people don't just do that unless they're invited.
Yeah.
People aren't going to come in the 100 plus person count and come to your camp without an invite.
No.
And
what do you reckon we had to camp? I reckon maybe 5 sort of people come up to our camp in total.
It was very
less than 10 groups.
It was great, wasn't it? It was say the word with me, Ben. It was
organic. Very organic, mate.
There was a family of 3 who came over. There was the two stewards
with the
tabards, and there was the 3 lads.
Yeah.
And then aside from maybe a couple of hellos from people walking past on the path,
what was it?
We were left very much to our own devices, and that made the content better.
We as we said as well. I can't remember if we said it. I think we just said. I don't think it made it to the vlog, but we're saying like we were so close to the orange trees, like we were right on that purple orange border anyway. And it was just fine, wasn't it? Yeah. It was just no issue.
It was, and it's the people they're not just gonna invite themselves in. Some people did, like those 8 people did. Yeah. But like that was fine because we can handle that, no problem. And for the most part, actually, it was enjoyable.
I think the weight of the comments, because there are a few comments like, oh yeah, I didn't really like that sort of this reduced squad or whatever. But I think the majority of the comments are definitely liked it.
Yeah.
And I think for us as well, it was probably one of the best experiences I've had for a long time.
That's the thing, because you've got to, we spend all summer doing stuff that's going to be good purely for content, not necessarily like what am I going to like the most. And I was dreading Leeds Fest with all them people.
Me too.
And it don't matter who they are. It could be like us 5 times 4. Like it don't matter who it is. Like it's not a get at the specific people, but you got like a big squad, and then each of those squad effectively has someone with them that they have to look after for the majority of the festival. Yeah. Like
it's a big operation.
It is a big operation. And this one we were like, fuck it. And when we came up with this idea, I remember we were sat in Pizza Express, me, you, and Dan, on a lovely hot summer day. We walked to Pizza Express that day.
Yeah.
This was like months ago. And it was like, great, let's do that. And I'm really glad who the squad ended up being as well. Because you look in you guys obviously haven't seen it, Ben and Mary, but you look at their video, and Bridie's not like, people love Bridie because he's not there very often, and they remember him as being this like hilarious guy, and he is brilliant. But he's pretty tame in this video. Like he's pretty tame. And Chalk could be a real asset to any camp. And you know what? In retrospect, like we probably could have had Chalk as well.
Yeah.
But then he pretty much like ran their camp.
Yeah.
So that was the kind of thing. It was a who doesn't have someone that they have to kind of baby for the weekend, and who can we have where it's not taking loads away from them. So the squad we ended up with, I thought was great, and it's not a typical squad or combination that we've done before. and
It worked really well.
I loved it.
I had a great time. The dynamic was good between
I really did.
Absolutely.
It proper felt like the olden days as well. I know that's a bit cringe to say, but it just felt a bit more. I'm not going to say it, Rob, but you know,
It felt organic, and everyone, and something that was great was like, so us three, obviously me, you, Ben, and Jake, yourself, Jake. Try that again. It's because I was kind of talking to Ben,
right,
but then
thingy over here.
because I'm talking to Ben here, who's on a FaceTime,
Hello.
and he can only see me. But so it was us three, me, Ben, and Jake. And that was a real good start and a real good dynamic, and then it just kind of got to the bit where it didn't really feel like it, but where it probably run its course and we'd done everything we could do with 3 people.
Yep.
Bang, next day
Chris
here's a
is here.
4th member.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just to add that extra dynamic, and even if that's just 2 of you going for a sandwich and 2 of you can stay at camp,
Yep.
and someone's not off on their own, and then just as that starts to get exhausted, Mary turns up, who obviously brings like much more energy probably than any of us to the vid. And it just worked so well.
Yeah.
And I'm really pleased with that video. I think it did great.
Yeah.
Me too.
No one's fallen out. Everyone's still friends.
Yeah.
Nothing's happening with the channel. Nothing. Only positive change is coming.
Absolutely. And it was also a factor of seeing if we're able to make a piece of content basically without you, Rob. Seeing if that is possible, because there was loads of times, certainly this year, that we spoke about where we were at one festival and we said while we were at that festival, God, it'd be great if so and so 3 of the other guys back at home could just go to that other festival and cover that. And
it'd stop us from doing like the trees and transmit weekender and the truck and tram lines weekender, where you get half-assed. You still get a nice video, but it's not like.
But you get a video that doesn't hit 100K in the first
day. Yeah. Can we do that without me? And the answer is categorically no, you can't, because I'm the editor. But do you know what? There's a few teething issues that they had on their side without. I don't want to say it, but without the leadership and guidance of particularly me and you.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, because you two do the most filming, I'd say.
We do the most filming. Dan's always up there, if not maybe the second or even the most filming, actually.
Yeah.
But me and Jake are always in the top 3, but it's more just the unconscious understanding that you're there to make the video.
Yeah.
The guys did a great job, and I was a bit anxious about their product, and Dan really didn't have any faith in it either, what he was telling me when he was editing, because for it to work, I felt Dan has to do the first round of the edit.
Yeah.
So real basic edit, just chopping and trimming. No like frills, no fine tuning. Just get the basic canvas like covered. And he was like, no one's talking to the camera. We don't really have a narrative. He was saying like, we don't really know what's going on. And so I was kind of a bit worried about it. They didn't get a thumbnail, even though I'd asked them twice on the weekend, and we were not meant to be speaking to him, as you'll remember, Ben.
As I wasn't briefed.
I said to him, I'm there thinking, am I patronising him? No, I'll tell him, get a thumbnail. Make sure you get a thumbnail picture of you 4, the 4 TPD boys. They didn't do that. There was an ad read that Dan had to do, and basically the picture that was painted to me was, it's not very good. So then I sat down and I was annoyed about the thumbnail, but Dan was like, I'm really sorry about the thumbnail. Like, what was dumb is like Raz was like, we mentioned it. I kept mentioning it. And it's like, I know, Raz, but you can't just mention it. You need to say, right, stand up now and get a thumbnail. Like, we did one at Electric Picnic just gone, and there's 3 of us. So we've done this a few times, but you have to take like different photos and superimpose them together. Like, but in their head, it was like, we need a thumbnail. Guys, we need a thumbnail. And then that's it. I've like done my
conversation over. Yeah.
So, but aside from the thumbnail, like, I sat down and looked at the first pass edit, and it was good. And then I tweaked it, and it got it to a stage now where I think it's nice. It's a perfect normal TPD video.
Yeah.
Especially to say that like it's the first one.
Yeah.
So I think they did a really good job. I'm sorry you're about to talk about it too much because I know you two haven't seen it, Ben and Mary. But
No, I'm looking forward to watching it.
Yeah, same.
I'll send you a drive link, Ben, and I'll airdrop you, Mary.
I'd like to check that out, mate.
But yeah, it's good. And will we do it again? I mean, I would rather my ideal Leeds Fest next year is like 8 of us, core squad. You know, us 5 from our camp: Chocky, Dan, Bridie, and Raz, which I'm aware is 9. And you know, but that's what like real bare bones kind of thing. But have everyone in one place. But as long as we're having this big extended group, which is great. Like, you know, I love it.
I have a really good time with them. It's just, it does make it logistically hard because it's like just simple things like getting up on a morning and half of the camp's gone to go to breakfast and then you're having to wait for people and then, I want to go see this band. I don't want to see it. It was just, it makes it not as like cohesive and it's not as fun, but it's no hate to anyone because I love seeing the people. But
it's just, it's such a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because it's almost like we're at this point now where we've been allowed this position of we can, you know, we have a squad of 20 odd in guest camp or what have you, and it's almost nice, like end of the year, sort of last-ish festival of the season, Leeds Fest, where it all started. There's something quite nice about that, but you've got that saddled with I really need to get a banger of a video out, and it's just a bit of a nightmare, and it's I don't know. There's not really a good answer, but I don't know.
No,
it's double-edged sword.
It's a great point, and like Mary says, like when you've got so we had a great idea on our video about seeing those random acts, and I think that was really good, not only for content but like for our own experience. And we didn't really see anything that that changed our lives, but like we've got some great stories, and we'll talk a bit more about some of those stories in a bit. But like, think how easy it would have been for like you to have sacked one of them off if 5 of your campmates also sack it off. But when you're in a smaller group and you've committed to it, like we didn't sack one of them off. We missed one because of a taxi issue, but like we went to all of them.
No, it wasn't taxi.
Like we went to all of them, but like if we'd have done that exercise with 20, and Rach didn't want to go to Artan, then Raz probably ain't going to go to Artan. So Bridie's then probably not going to go.
Should have missed out as well.
And it just kind of snowballs like that. Yeah. But I'll tell you what I did miss. I did miss spending some time with Nathan.
Yeah. Every time we saw Nathan, it was like,
it was
great. Nathan, Sam.
Well, the rest of them, I see them all the time.
Yeah.
But like Nathan, and I'll tell you, was great on the vid as well.
Jack Smith.
Big up Jack.
Yeah, do you know what? He was brilliant. We love Jack Smith anyway. He's great. He's a close friend of the group. And it was, tell you what was really nice is you don't really see it much, but we certainly saw it a lot during the weekend. Is obviously Jack doesn't really, it was first time meeting Bridie for Jack, I think. Obviously first time meeting Nath, and he just gelled so well with everyone, and that was just so nice to see.
He's a lovely guy.
And it was great because obviously he came with us to Piccadilly. He was up, and do you know what? He was getting the crowd going. To be fair, like he was right.
I was on the barrier. Obviously, as you know, I like to spend my time down on the barrier, see the people.
Of course.
And me and Jack were on the barrier, and he was getting so much love. I was stood on the barrier, right, and he was stood next to me. And I just remember shouting, everybody, look, it's Jack Smith. I was like, "Oi!" And just the love he was getting, it was so good. It shows that either no one knows what we look like and who we are, or they just really just welcome everyone. I'm inclined to believe the latter.
I think this is hopefully the latter.
Well, he said the next day that someone came up to him and was like, "Oh man, I loved your set last night." Jack was like, "Oh, thank you." That was a great accent, by the way.
Good for him.
Yeah, he was great.
I almost sent him a message today, and I probably will.
Oh, I bet he likes that.
I probably will send him one, just saying like thanks so much for like you were actually really funny in the vid, and he's only sprinkled in there, because obviously the viewers want to see Bridie and Chalk and stuff, but like a lot of what Jack did on the vid made it in. Yeah. And he was really like, he wasn't putting it on. That was just himself. That's just who he is. Just a nice, funny lad.
Yeah. Just a charismatic guy.
And you know what? He would be more than welcome with us at another event. Yeah, I can say. say that pretty surely. So big up, Jack. But I realise we're talking a lot about a video that these guys listening and watching haven't even seen.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of background on the process and our thoughts on their video. Now it's done as of about an hour ago.
And there, well, in regards to like our camp, it was so just back to basics, bare bones. We got there dead, absolutely dead, and it was dead
Very
all
quiet.
weekend, to be honest with you. It was an interesting sight of like the image that goes through my head all the time is what you know the path that you walk down where it's like Fat Frank's on your left and it's like blue.
Yeah, blue, isn't it?
And every year that is like blue camp is right to the edge of that path, and you know you're like, God, why would you bother camping there? It wasn't like that at all this year. I couldn't believe how quiet the camps were, especially blue, which is usually like the popping camp. To be fair, it was just mad, and it was just interesting. I'm not going to say why I think it was dead, but I think there was certainly some factors to.
It's weird, isn't it? Because Reading sold out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Did
that.
it?
Reading's higher capacity
Wow.
in it than Leeds as
Yeah,
well.
maybe it was. Maybe
But
it's,
do you
'cause it's
know-
more accessible.
Do you know, with Reading, you're in Reading, aren't you? So it's like all those people who just want to sort of get a hotel and do the day or what have you. That's your one, innit?
You know what it probably is? That Southerners have a worse taste in music than
Oh,
That'll be it.
Absolutely.
That'll be it.
Do you know what, Mary? You've hit that. Absolutely.
something else that is good about our video, in my opinion, versus theirs, is we like swallowed our pride and let go and enjoyed Dragons.
Absolutely.
And really had a good time at
Yeah,
Sam
Sam.
Fender. And they did the same old shit of
Yeah.
like, and I get, and
It was
kind of some, sorry, go on.
They went into it with just the wrong attitude. They just went in with it already having the same.
Can't be arsed, I'd rather be doing something else. Whereas we were like, we were drunk, the vibes were good, we were bigging each other up, like, and that's kind of something about it. Like it wasn't so much that Sam Fender was all of a sudden good,
No,
but I really enjoyed watching him.
we had
We had the saxophone vape
saxo vape.
and
Saxophone guitar.
the saxophone guitar, and you know, we were all just like having a real good laugh.
Yeah.
And Sam Fender was soundtracking it, and then by the end of it, you know, you've got your pals. There was seven or eight of us together
Yeah.
watching that. And it was great.
Can I just have a quick, sorry to interrupt, can I just very quickly just say, someone commented on the video, imagine sacrificing your health for Fender or something. So I actually still dislike Sam Fender. However, as you well know, Rob, it made an excellent cut from the hospital visit. That's the only reason why it's stayed, because of the fireworks. I still don't like Sam Fender.
I've been listening
cards on the
to
table.
him. I've been listening to him since Leeds Fest, and same with Imagine
Here we
Dragons.
go.
He's all right, isn't he?
And I apologise to the. I'm always trying to fucking engage the Reading and Leeds admin, and it turns out that person is actually a friend of a friend of ours, and I didn't know that. But I don't know this person, but like I didn't know there was like a one degree of separation. But anyway, I tweeted Reading and Leeds and apologised for giving them shit about Imagine Dragons all year, and they retweeted it and said like, "There you go."
Wow. I've listened to Bones twice since Reading and Leeds, and that's 100% more than I've listened to Bones prior to Reading and
There you go.
Leeds. So.
Honestly, I was so shocked at how good Imagine Dragons were.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, like, I have listened to them since we come back, and I do think it was the live performance that really made it better, because I do still think
Agreed.
it's quite radio shite. However, like, live they were brilliant, and I can't wait to say that I'm seeing them again this weekend, and I'm buzzing.
we are, aren't we? Yeah, we are.
Honestly,
Oh, yeah. Jealous.
We're off to Lollapalooza tomorrow.
Oh, very
day
nice.
after.
Oh, they're there.
In just in Berlin, not the big one in Chicago.
that's already been.
But it's a great lineup.
Yeah,
man.
it
It's,
is.
Imagine Dragons, Mumford and Sons,
Jason Derulo,
David Guetta,
Oh, yeah.
Macklemore.
Wow.
So
Macklemore,
and
man.
it's actually our last festival consecutive week anyway. Since we started this with Slam Dunk.
Yeah.
So
That's interesting, because Macklemore, when we saw him at Piccadilly,
Yeah, I said
this is my last show.
So I said this, but Val's raised a good point, because that was 3 weeks ago, so it's very easy to just fly back to
fair
America
enough, fair
and
enough.
come back. For,
But, you know, about Imagine Dragons, like, I was a bit annoyed when I was watching the clips in the video because the audio of the music and what we were hearing, it doesn't translate at all because it really was so good live.
It was good.
But it doesn't sound that good on a video.
See, for me, it's more like I heard it for the first time. That one with the mandolin, the little guitar, as you called it. I heard that for the first time while having a great time.
Yeah.
So now, I don't care what it sounds like on Apple Music. I've listened to it a few times, and it reminds me of being in that field, having a great time.
Yeah. And we also had... go on.
I was just very quickly. I was just going. My favourite part was when he comes onto stage and he says, "Oh, it's great to be back, Reading."
Yeah, that was dumb.
Really good.
And we were detractors of him. Even walking up to him, I was like ready for war.
I had a book out. I was like ready to just read my Kindle.
Well, we had a fucking riot.
Yeah, we did. It was good fun.
Piccadilly was weird.
How big that is?
Oh, you've got one of them.
Oh, no
How
way.
big's that?
I've had many of them before, mate.
Have you?
Yeah.
I've never seen him before in my life.
You get them in. Well, they're all over Europe. Does it still say like collector's edition on the counter?
Yeah.
Said
Literally
that for
everywhere.
years.
Wow.
The
Humongous, man.
last time I had one of those, I was in the Swiss Alps.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they're not bad, you know.
I've just spilt it everywhere. But anyway, sorry, you were
It's
saying.
hard to drink out of because it's just got the normal can lid, hasn't it? But it's got.
It's just. I mean, it's just. That's insane.
I thought that was one of those like where you get a bottle in a
Yeah.
thing. I didn't
Like
know
a
that
Status
was a
Quo gift
full-on
set.
can.
Just imagine, like, I mean,
They're great, aren't they?
How many mils is that, Ben?
1,000.
It's a litre.
Fucking hell.
God.
Cheers.
It's quite nice, that.
Cheers.
Hey, cheers. Hey, cheers.
So the maybe our audience is aging out of Leeds.
I think it's
Festival,
literally that. I do think it's literally that. Which is fine.
which is great for us because it gave us that organic experience. But Piccadilly was weird. So we've done 5 Piccadillys, and I think one of them was shit. And that was, in my opinion, the third one. And that's because we just phoned it in. We didn't do any planning. We didn't talk about it. It was just like, we've done it twice. Let's go do it again. And we didn't do a very good job. This year, I think we did a brilliant job. I think the set was great. There was a lot of pre-planning. There was a lot of pre-mixing. And there was thought put into it. But the crowd was just dead.
Yeah, it was.
And the crowd was dead at everything all weekend.
Yeah.
And then
just a little teaser. There's a great bit in their video this weekend of You Me at 6.
there is.
Which is a great like way to say like the crowd was dead all
the
weekend.
crowd is. But even down to like, so we're not allowed a mic now at Piccadilly, which is a real piss take because there is a limiter on the system, so you can only get so loud as the music. But I guess it's to stop like crowd work, which gets people going. And to be fair, we went to LS23 for the first time, which was class, and they didn't have a microphone there. So, there's no kind of... Last year we heard a lot of, how come you weren't allowed a microphone when LS23 stage had one all night? Well, I could say... Oh, shit. Can you still hear me, everyone?
Yeah.
Yep.
I've unplugged something somehow. There was no microphone in the rival spot. But yeah, it's just a shame. Like you do Piccadilly, you don't get a microphone. Standing on the speakers, which is something we've always done. We've literally always done that. I've got security like telling me, and he was nice. He was doing a good job at being security because he was doing what they told him to do. But he was like, you can't put that on the internet. Get off the speakers. We're going to get told off. And you know what? I didn't put it on the internet, but then it's actually one of the leading shots in their video because fuck it, our name's on the screen in big letters. It
Absolutely,
looks sick. And that's what we're there to do. We're there to do a job, and I think we did a really good job. All of us. I think everyone has fun.
I think it's the set list. I even said to Razzie afterwards that set, it was great, especially the Bring Me into Broco.
The crowd
was excellent, but it just
not
did not land
to the rock.
What I noticed was you always get like generally people on the front. Like I remember last year And I was running up and down that barrier last year, and everyone was like there for it. And you almost felt like, not to assume, but you feel like, yeah, they know the channel. But this year, it was quite noticeable that sort of you looked maybe like 2 people deep, 3, and you just could tell people were like not as engaged or as interested. So you had a few people in the front who like kind of lock eyes with you and know who you are and want to chat to you like that. But very sort of not as packed as it was last year. So I don't know if that's just potentially a lineup issue or a crowd issue or what. But yeah, it did feel a bit reduced compared to last year, which is a shame because it was an excellent set. Yeah. I really liked it.
I think it was still fine. Like it's still like scaled. It's still scaled correctly. Like we still had the biggest Piccadilly crowd of the entire weekend.
Yes.
Because then when you look at like the other nights, obviously we love like Beef Melons and like Danny and all that, but the crowd at Piccadilly was just tiny all weekend, and it was really sad.
LS23, man.
Do you know what? LS23 was fucking brilliant.
And
Still the show, didn't
like Anna Chronica was, we only spent like 10 minutes there. But that is, it's clear where the resource is going. But also the Piccadilly guys, all of them, I think they're shooting themselves in the foot by then playing like electronic type music that you're gonna get at LS23 anyway.
Agreed.
Piccadilly needs to be like strictly rock and indie and maybe pop.
Proper lean into that.
Yeah, like proper.
And be a direct opposite
the
to
Kooks and fucking
agreed.
Arctic Monkeys and Maximo Park and shit like that.
Who's listening to Maximo Park?
But like
that's 2023. No one listened to them fucking back in 2013 or whenever it was.
But it's an uphill battle, isn't it? Because it's a thoroughfare. Like ultimately, it's a thoroughfare. It's not a stage. Do you know what I mean? Like LS23, I know whatever it is, it's a stage. But Piccadilly, it needs to either relocate or I don't know. It's just a shame because it could fit this brief of, as you say, this indie rock pop and be really good at it. But it needs to be a stage and not just a sort of. It's almost like a meeting point and just a little thoroughfare to get to your camp.
Yeah, it is a good point, and it's a shame because we know the Piccadilly guys and we get on with them very well, and we see them at festivals. I mean, Danny's like literally a good friend of ours at this point, but the rest of them, Danny from Piccadilly, by the way, not Danny White. But like the rest of them, we see them throughout the year at different events, and we always have a good laugh and a good catch up. And their work, I know that they really want Reading and Leeds to invest in that stage, and they've asked, and it's just not happening. So hey ho, but yeah, we had fun. I think we did a really good job. I think Raz did a really good job, and I don't feel bad in any way about it, even though the crowd was dead, because the one that we did that was shit, the crowd was more popping, but I don't think we brought it. Whereas this time, the crowd was dead, but I think everyone did a really good job for what they needed to do.
Yeah. I had a great time.
Yeah, so did I. Thought it was.
And then we went out, didn't we, straight after Piccadilly?
Absolutely, we did.
Yeah,
and we went out every night. Aside from maybe that first night where we had the meet-up. Yeah. But we still had a lot to drink on that night.
Are we going to talk about the meet-up? We haven't talked about that, have we?
No.
About the fact that some people didn't attend.
Yeah, it's strange that, because none of that's in their video, even any footage leading up to it.
Well, they weren't there to film it, were they?
I wonder if Danny cut that out. Mary, conscious you've kind of just had to sit and listen because you weren't here for those 2 days.
You've got to talk about it. I just don't obviously have anything to contribute. That's why I'm quiet, because I want there.
Shall we jump into you arriving and your Uber driver?
Oh, terrible.
Yeah, I can do.
Absolutely.
So I got my Uber, booked it. Ben had sent me like a screenshot with an X on of the street I needed to be at for the gate I needed. Booked it directly to that point. Got in the taxi and the driver was just aggressive straight away, like, oh, for fuck's sake, you've not pressed the right thing. And it was like he was swearing a lot, but not necessarily at me. It was just about the situation, but it was still quite stressful. He kept ringing his mates, like asking them for directions. And he said to me, I'm going to have to take you, this is after I've been in car for like 15 minutes, I'm going to have to take you up through York. And as soon as we get into York postcode, you'll get charged like 100 quid. It'll end up being like 100 quid. And I thought, I know you're chatting shit.
All bollocks that, because we've got Ubers further than York and it's not even 100 quid.
He said that Uber's got a thing where if it takes you to York, then you're going to get charged 100 quid. So I'm thinking, okay, all right, I know that's not true. But I just kind of pandered to him because I wanted to just get to the festival. And he was like, I'll do you a favour. That's how he framed it. Like, so that you don't get charged loads. If you just tip me £25 and then I will take you where you need to go, or at least I'll try, because he was saying he wouldn't be able to get me to the gate. And it was just very awkward because I'm already in the car.
What a fucking knobber.
He really was. And just constantly like swearing about the situation made me feel really uncomfortable.
Well, don't pick up then, you dickhead. You're in a major city with a major, massively publicised event on, and you can see this person's going to Brown. It tells you on the thing where this person wants to go before you pick them up. So shut up, you dickhead. I wish we had his details.
I know.
And I wouldn't, even if we had him, like, it wouldn't have gone in the video, because, like, you know, you never know what someone's situation is, or we've been through this before. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't have outed him. But it'd be nice to just say what actually happened to, like, a customer service advisor, just to, I don't know, just to maybe knock a star off his rating or something, because, you know, I don't want anyone to get into massive trouble, but, like, it does piss me off, because he wouldn't have done that if it was like me and Jake with you.
He wouldn't.
You know, he would have shut up.
It makes you wonder though why, because obviously Uber's like partnered with Leeds Festival for this. It's all you know, all the branding and everything. Uber's there as like an official partner, but the implementation, I mean, it's very clear just nothing's been done. Uber's just sent a PNG of the logo to Festival Republic, and that's it. Because you can't get an Uber in Leeds Festival because you've got no signal, so there's no infrastructure there. I tried to get an Uber from the hospital, and I got told you're gonna have to pay me. You're gonna have to give me cash because I won't get paid for like the route because of the diversions. Which because we discussed this, Rob. We know, like, okay, it does pre-charge you for the route on the app, but then if he took a longer route, you would then be charged for that as well.
It happened to me when I got an Uber back.
It's just crazy. There's just no need for it, and there need to be like a better implementation and some kind of, I don't know what the answer is, but for me to have a shit experience and Mary to have a shit experience, arguably a far worse experience actually.
Well, good news. Me and Vals and Chris also had a terrible Uber experience. Now, it wasn't terrible. The driver,
and me as well, because I was in it.
Yeah, he was there as well.
Yeah, of course. Sorry, Ben, you were. But yeah, like, that was a bad one as well.
Yeah,
like from Leeds City Centre at the train station, essentially, to Bramham Park, and the guy was lovely, bless him.
Yeah,
but like, he just didn't know the way, and you told him, Ben, take the A1M. And he didn't, so we're then going round and round and round, and this trip that should have taken like 20 minutes it took like an hour, didn't it? Pretty much.
Yeah, it was about an hour.
And then we're like, right, well, we don't want you to be ripped off with a 16 quid fare for an hour's work. So then I had I think I added like a 30 quid tip on, just to, we were prepared to spend it. And we'd said I thought Uber charged you in the way it does, but then I was kind of, that weekend, I think maybe you, Ben, or you, Mary, had experienced it not do that. So I thought it was locked in at 16 quid. So tipped him 30, so 46 quid. All good. Get out of the taxi. There's no internet, so it can't actually end the fare. And because this guy's not gone the way he's meant to, or not ended up at the destination that it was set on the map, through no fault of his own, well, not strictly a fault of his own, the journey just keeps on going, and it's not marked as complete. So that trip ended up costing 60 quid plus then the 30 quid tip. So it was actually 90 quid. And do you know what? Like, I'm glad the guy got the tip, because he was nice, and he was almost a bit timid. Yeah, he was like the opposite of what you had. Probably because there was 4 lads in his car. It was probably the same guy. But yeah, like, it did suck, and we got the bus to the festival, Vals, together, and then me and Chris got the bus back from the festival, and you and Ben got the bus back from the festival, by the looks of things.
That bus was good, to be fair.
I got flawless.
Although a passenger told me off because I crossed my legs in the aisle mid-journey.
Get your foot out of my face! It's like,
You are.
she was like, get your foot out my face. It's like,
Yeah.
man's got bloody
Not near your
size
face.
14 feet. He can't put him behind the chair.
Lord. Yeah, the bus was great, man.
Yeah.
What else happened at Leeds? What else did we do?
Ben dipped.
Yeah, Ben.
Yeah.
How was your leg?
How's your leg?
The leg is all right. I've still got a lump, you'd be pleased to know. But the leg's doing all right. That was, yeah, I had to have another injection before I flew out here, actually, because they weren't sure how I would be. But it's doing all right. But what a nightmare. That was an absolute, I was like, this is my festival over. I'm not going to, well, they told me not to go back. But it was just such a faff. I was in A&E for so it was a Saturday, wasn't it? I left about 10:30. Got back at the festival for maybe 6, 5:30, something like that.
Yeah, that would
So it
work.
was a long old slog, and I was just losing the will to live. Just sat in A&E, I can't believe I'm here.
Yeah.
And then I had to argue the toss to get the taxi back, which I just said to this guy, look, mate, either take me or I'll just get a black and white because you're wasting my time now. I had to draw some cash out, which is insane in 2023.
Terrible.
That is mad. Yeah, going on those dodgems was not a good idea. It proper rattled me up.
Oh, me rib.
It really did. Because we were freezing, weren't we? If you remember, we were really cold.
It was cold
so
all
cold.
weekend.
And
Like,
I've
on a
had,
night.
yeah, it was. And I've had these body muscle aches for the last few weeks in general. And then my rib's
Heavy
still a
arms.
bit sore. And then obviously, Ben, you've got a real problem as opposed to me just being a bit achy. But in retrospect, we should have probably not gone on the dodgems.
Oh, yeah,
But it was so much fun.
Great, man.
They're not even that fun anymore for me.
Man, I love the dodgems.
Mate, sort your arms out and we'll go back on dodgems.
I don't know what's wrong with them, man. So, Saturday was who was headline? Oh, that was the Sam Fender day, wasn't it?
I think there is a key thing to talk about, to be honest with you.
What?
Yeah, right. Your little late night antics.
Oh,
Mary Kellis. That was such a joy to watch.
people love
the
this.
thing is, so I'm on about the first night, the silent disco night, where you and Chris left because you were like, right, we're done with the silent disco now, we'll live. So we stayed at the silent disco for a bit longer. We're partying away. We're like, right, do you know what? Maybe it's time for us to leave now. About half an hour later. Stumble into you, and you've just got great mashed potato in your hair, gravy on your sock, just mushy peas down your face.
I was smashed. I left the silent disco because I couldn't stand anymore.
Yeah.
I kept falling backwards into people. And since Truck Festival, when we first had the Yorkie,
Yeah.
and it really is just a great
is good,
bedtime
to be
snack
fair.
at a festival.
bedtime snack.
Bedtime meal. It keeps you warm. It fills you up. It's probably good for your hangover and alcohol absorption.
So they're saying a cup of hot chocolate and a massive fuck off Yorkie.
Yeah, it's
Which one do you go for? So a lot of people know what the Yorkshire stand is, don't they? It's the giant, big Yorkshire pudding. There's loads of different things, aren't there? But which one do you go for?
What the fuck's it called? It's not any of the special ones. It's the most basic one you can get. And I get it with mash, not chips.
So it's mash.
It's
mushy
mash.
peas.
Traditional.
Bit of mushy peas,
2 sausages.
bit of stuffing, 2 sausages, which aren't that good.
They're
but
never
No,
they're
the
good.
sausages are
they're
dead, but
big Yorkshire,
Yeah.
obviously. And what you do is you eat all the contents, then you grab the Yorkshire pudding. I think that's why I get it everywhere. You grab the Yorkshire pudding and then you can bite it
yeah,
and
that's
eat
what
that.
I do. That's what I do.
And it's nice. It's got some gravy. It's got a little bit of mash on still.
It's like eating the plate, in it, essentially.
Yeah, it's
like an edible
brilliant.
Plates are weird though. The plates are really it's like
Plates
that
are
kit,
strange.
cardboard.
Yeah,
So you had that on the silent disco night, and then the following night you wanted another one, didn't you?
yeah. I mean,
Well, that one was a bit harder to get, wasn't it?
it was. And you know what? I was feeling not that drunk, and then
Just hits you, doesn't it?
yeah. Well, our friend Ellie came over to Piccadilly with a big bag of red wine, and I would just
Oh,
drinking
dear.
that, and then after that, it just goes black. And I went off with Choc and Raz.
That's in their
That's
video,
in their
actually.
video, yeah.
You having some of that wine.
Yeah.
All right, not they didn't film because I
Yeah, because we went to bed, didn't we, Rob?
filmed any of the
there is a bit of you on the floor.
There's like the start of your. It's good because like it's like the start of the interstellar adventure.
It's like a prequel.
No, you weren't. There's no you being a knobhead.
Alright,
in it.
thank God.
This is the thing that's good about you, Mary, because you're a woman, right? But you act like a real human being, and that's something you just don't get on the internet. Like, you see these. This ain't a diss. This is an ultimate compliment. But like, you see these girls on Instagram, right, who will take like 100 pictures probably before they've got the right one and upload it, and they'll still have a caption that's like self-deprecating, like you know, they could look like 10 out of 10, but they'll be overthinking there's a towel in the background, so it'll be like, ignore my towel, you know, shit like that. And then, and the thing is, a lot of these big girls on the internet, they just don't exist in real life, right? Do you know what I mean? We've had this conversation. These internet girls, they ain't real. They ain't in real life. But you are a real life. You portray what people are actually like when they're having fun. And people see the authenticity. And that's why people... Have you seen the votes for the TPD award?
Yeah, I'm
It's literally a piss take.
Yeah.
Because all you do is just get drunk and just be yourself. But do you know what? Can't really hate on it.
Well, thanks. That's really nice.
And that's what's so good, because you're just comfortable. And you weren't being the point is, like, you weren't being a knobhead in any of that footage that I saw at all.
That's good. I mean, I heard it all from Chucky the next day, and I think he was trying to make me sweat a bit. To be honest, I think he probably over exaggerated.
Well, he sweats all the time, doesn't he? So he probably wanted to mess someone else.
But it's weird because, like, I remember when I was leaving with Choc and Raz, they're like, "Oh, you can come with us, but we're not taking you home afterwards." I'm like, "That's fine. I don't need you to." And some people in the comments were like, "Oh, shame on them," type thing. They should have, and that's not what I would never expect them to walk me home.
The thing is, like, you are 20, late 20s now. Mid to late 20s.
28 next month.
Yeah.
Like, I can look after myself, even though it looks like a car.
Like, there's situations where it's all tough, like in the taxi. But, like, this is different, I feel like. You don't need a chaperone. And we had it at Benny. Like, we wanted to make sure you were safe at Benny. Which is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a nice thing we were in another country, but like, Leeds Fest,
ultimately, it's like, now I want to go off on my own. It's like, yeah, do you know what? Good point, because you're a fucking adult.
Yeah,
right? If you want to get paid the same as us,
I don't live in fear.
And you want your tampons to be untaxed, then I'm not walking you home.
Well,
smash through that glass ceiling there.
This is
do you know what? Equality for all.
Yeah, well, this is what I've heard from Chucky. That I kept falling on the floor, and there is a photo of me that proves
you are on the floor.
Yeah.
And apparently, like, the welfare people had come over, and they were quite suspicious of Choc and Raz.
Yeah, that's in the video as well.
Far too old for Raz.
And apparently, I was like on the floor, being like, "Fuck off! I don't need your help," which is why I'm being a knobhead. And then some like viewers came over, and I were on the floor, and apparently they're just like laughing at me.
No,
this is what Choc said.
This is in the vid.
No, but this might be a different, right? So then, like 5 minutes later, they come back with security.
Oh my god.
That's what Choc said.
Well, if that happened, they're mugs for not filming it, because I ain't seen any of that, and I've got all the footage.
Yeah, I think that honestly, Chucky was trying to just wind me up.
Maybe.
But yeah,
Chucky, no way.
I know, but honestly, I don't know what happened. I don't know how I got where I got. I don't know where I got, but I was on the outside of the festival slightly. And the whole walk.
It's easy though to do that.
It is easy.
Is it?
If you make one wrong turn, it's irreversible unless
you were just by the buses, weren't you?
Yeah.
Well, I guess because I think I went to the York.
But that's what we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
But like me and Chris left out of an exit on Sunday night on foot that we shouldn't have left out of, and it's just irrecoverable. And unless you literally go back the way you came, but like once you've gone through a few turns, you're hammered, and you just end up in like places where you shouldn't be.
Yeah, and it's remote and it's
yeah.
Fuck me.
So like we end not to take over your story, but like we ended up in staff catering car park, not even camping. And then we followed that out, and we were just on an unlit country road outside of the festival. But like we couldn't order an Uber there because both other ends of the road were closed. And And it's not even a complaint because like we were hammered and you were hammered. Like we should have just gone the way we knew. But like once you go down a path, it's really hard to reverse that when you're hammered.
Yeah, it really
It's not
is.
like walking back home from town and you know, oh, this is where I live.
Yeah.
It's like, right, where is anything now in relation to anything else?
Yeah, definitely.
It's tough.
One thing I noticed though, in the bit I saw obviously on our vlog with Mary was obviously quite drunk and speaking to a steward. I think it was near the start of the Interstellar stuff, and I don't know if I'm putting someone on blast here unfairly, but it did just seem a bit useless because she was like saying, "I need to get to wherever." Didn't really sound that coherent. No offense, Mary, you were quite
fine.
pissed, but I just would have expected like him to be like either. I mean, I get he probably couldn't leave his post, but could you like radio someone and be like, "Oh, I've got somebody, can you just point me in the right direction?"
The thing is, to be fair, he literally, that was what he said. He said, "I'll radio my supervisor."
But
Oh,
that
did it?
scared
Oh,
me,
okay, my
because
bad,
I thought,
that's
am I
fine.
going to get done here?
Yeah, but
Because
then
I've seen
Mary
this
thought
off
she
my
was in
head.
trouble.
That's why I like.
Ah, right, okay.
No, but to be fair, I was saying purple cam, and even though I was drunk, I was being pretty clear, and I must have said it like
Yeah.
6 times.
Yeah,
and he
in
just
the-
could not understand
In the
it.
edit, I only put in like 2 times because I didn't want it to seem that we were trying to like pull like a Little Britain kind of Marjorie Dawes fish and chips angle, like because there was
I don't get
Everyone's going to get that reference.
there was a cultural difference between you and the steward, and I didn't want to play on the fact that I didn't want anyone to misinterpret the fact that I'm putting in footage where he can't understand what you're saying and we think
Yeah.
that's funny. Because to be fair, Mary, you said to him purple camp 4 or 5 times and he went, say again, and it was literally like Little Britain. So I was like, well, I'm gonna cut that down because I don't want anyone to think that's us making a joke of it.
Yeah, making
But
a narrative.
you were really clear, and he was really kind of say again.
And it was like 10 minutes up that, and it fucking wasn't. And the whole
Definitely
walk,
not.
and I know this from looking back at like my footage, and I looked at my steps that day, and I did so many steps between like 3:30 and 5 a.m. And then I ended up in the arena, completely closed, obviously, at like 4:30.
Mad that you.
I don't know how I got in there.
What's more mad
mate.
is the fact that you were able to walk through the arena with all your camping gear.
When you arrived.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Again, that's
I
got to
felt
be
like a
another.
right square.
It's got to be another wrong turn.
Yeah.
So you can't take a sealed bottle into the arena.
Yet somehow she could take a tent with pegs in.
Mary ended up with a. Yeah, she could have had literally a duffel bag full of drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we know for next year.
Absolutely. Well, we know because all you need is a Boots branded paper bag
Oh,
filled with drugs, and you can get straight in.
That
So that's a
works.
top tip for everyone.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, something annoying that didn't make it into that little like segment.
Other Rob.
It was already long.
It was.
It was long.
But like, so when I'm in the arena and I'm walking, and obviously the arena's quite big, and there's lots of barriers and stuff. And I was at one of the main stages, and I'd walked through, and I found a steward. For some reason, there's just a steward there, even at that time. And I was like, "Oh, can I just climb over?" Because they had the barriers with like the stepping stool on
Like a
either
little,
side.
like style type thing.
Yeah, literally designed for security to stand on so they could have a better view of the crowd, I think. And I'm like, please, like, I've been walking for so long, can I just climb over? And she wouldn't let me just climb over. I'm like, you can like help me over if you want, but she's like, no, because you'll get sued. No, you might sue if you fall.
There's no common sense, is
And
there?
I had to walk all the way back and then round, and I just thought like the world's
It's like
gone
20
mad.
minutes of extra walking.
Yeah, and I was so pissed off.
It's
She could
so
see I was
dumb,
off
innit?
my head.
It's so dumb.
Yeah.
And, you know, I had it at Kendall Calling last year. I ended up, I was hammered. It was my fault. But I ended up, like, in some space where I just shouldn't have been able to get to. And my camp was literally like... It was like I must have been, like, 300 metres from my camp. But I was on the wrong side of a fence that I shouldn't have been on the other side of. Now, it was still in sight, but I'd somehow got into like a glamping bit. And and I'm trying to climb over this fence, like, you know, like the big tall council fence. And security's like, you can't do that. And I'm like, I'm just camped in there, like there's no other way. And the same thing, you're gonna have to go all the way around. Like, well, can't you like lift it out and just help me through? And like, I was being a bit of a knobhead, like, after he said no, because I had an artist wristband as well. I was like, this is the worst artist experience I've ever
kept saying,
had.
don't you know who I am? Don't you know who I am?
This is not only the worst artist experience I've ever had, but it's the only one I've ever had. But yeah, like, common sense, they're obviously told, like, no chance, because we'd rather you walk 20 extra minutes than it would be sod's law. You just fall over on that thing and break your neck.
I know,
Well, it's like
but
you
it's
fell
just
over.
a shame though, like.
Yeah, I did fall over. I did.
Well, Leeds Fest.
No.
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah, you were on the speaker.
Oh yeah, I decked it off the speaker and spilled Danny Oliver's lovely red wine. But I had a great Leeds Fest, even
Yeah,
down
I
to
did
too.
even down to the planning of, like, you know, me and Jake rewatching the 2014,
Yeah.
15, and 16 one. We made a note of like all the little references and
Got the little like.
more than half of our audience won't get them.
No.
And
A lot of people. There's a lot of comments though mentioning the references. Though, I know
It's one of
which
those.
is good.
If you know, you know.
even down to the outfits.
Yeah.
Like, every outfit I had, aside from my Piccadilly one, is an exact replica of a 2014 outfit that I wore. And I was so meticulous about it, and no one cares about this. But like, I believed in the idea and wanted to be in that kind of headspace so much that, like, I'm on Depop looking for like these specific cheap Monday shitter jeans and like trying to recreate the Battlefield hoodie. I had a Battlefield hoodie from Game that I used to wear, right? And it's a myth. It doesn't exist anymore. So I bought this woman's motorcycle jacket that was the same colours and took all the padding off. And then I tried doing iron-on for like the Game logo, but it didn't work. And, you know, rebuying the M&M top and the little Star Wars badge. And I just really enjoyed it. It was a real endearing process for me, if that's the word. Because we've come a long way since then. And it was nice to, you know, walk around in an ill-fitting jacket looking stupid, because I probably do now, but like, you don't know at the time. I can look back and think like, oh, I looked stupid then.
Everyone feels like that.
But like, and it was nice to kind of do that and walk around in the guest area, and you just, you know, if you don't make any effort, even though I'd made a big effort to look so terrible, then you're just so comfortable in your own skin, I think, sometimes. And you're more uncomfortable and self-conscious if you've got something nice on. Do you know what I mean? Do you ever feel that way? Like, if I'm wearing like something like dead nice and expensive, I'll think, oh, am I sat right? Is it wearing right? Like, does this person really know how much it actually cost? Chris, stop smoking.
I cut off the price tag and then like keep it so I can show people.
So
I don't take off the price tag.
a lot of my North Faces, my North Face Supreme jackets, I keep the price tag for them. And some I don't even cut the price tag off, just for preservation purposes. No one ever sees that. It's on the inside pocket. One time at work, my manager was like, it was clearly like quite a high-end jacket, and I'd left the office and I walked back into the office and he's like looked in the pocket and he's looking at the price tag, and I just thought, oh, what a dickhead.
Yeah.
Weird of him.
It is. He was weird.
That is weird. That is weird.
He didn't last long. Well, he did. He lasted very long, but he got booted out somewhat recently. Anyway, I had a great time at Leeds Fest.
Me too.
Me too.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
And I think that's all we got.
Yeah, I could ideally do with going very shortly.
And I need a shit, so... Ben, thanks for joining us,
Thanks,
mate, on
Ben.
your holiday.
Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure.
As always.
As always, mate. I will see you soon, Ben, I hope. And I'll
Fingers
see
crossed.
you two very soon as well, I'm sure.
Enjoy your holiday, Ben.
Thank you, mate.
And we will leave you with that. All right, folks.
Get well soon, Mary.
And you too, my friend.
Thank you.
And I'm going to have that shit, remember, guys?
Have a nice
All
one.
right, we'll see you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.